everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am here to do another December. I am up to day 9. Today's the 13th. It's actually my birthday. Yay. But I'm on here. I'm up to December 9th. Altered envelope and coffee mug stains. So I'm just working through at my own pace. So what I have here is I have these are bubble stained envelopes. And I also have some number 12 envelopes that I have started to deconstruct. I've sprayed them with some homemade spray. It's mostly instant coffee and alcohol to keep it from molding. I think there might be some Distress ink in there too, but I'm not sure. And I have opened it up a bit. And I've done the same for this because what I want to do is I want to flip it, have the top be a pocket, and then have these be tuck spots. So if they're folded into like a little booklet type thing, when you open it, these are tuck spots. So the first thing I need to do with these is to cover up the gummed sections. Grab some glue. Ooh, that one looks pretty tired. Put that one back. How's this one? Also kind of tired. I have a new one. There we go. So I want to cover those, this part here with some paper so that it doesn't stick. So the gumming doesn't get activated and stick to everything. And I have pulled out a whole bunch of different kinds of scraps here. And this is some tracing paper with alcohol ink that works really well as faux tape. I've also inked up some other tracing paper to use as faux tape. I have some real vintage ledger here. Isn't that pretty? I have some book pages. I have some scraps of map from a previous project, Ephemerember project. I have some teeny tiny book pages, which are very fun. So let us find some scraps. I don't want to use anything too precious because we're not going to see it. Here is some grid paper scraps over here to the side. Let's just use this. Okay. So I hope you're all enjoying your weekend. We're supposed to get snow tonight, like in the middle of the night and into tomorrow. And I've heard all kinds of varying predictions about how much snow. I really don't know. I've heard everything from a coating, a dusting to 6 inches. So who knows? Who knows what will actually manifest in snow? But I enjoy snow. I enjoy it a lot when we have snow days, but I don't think this is going to result in a snow day because tomorrow's Sunday and it doesn't sound like it's going to snow all day long. But it's kind of fun because tomorrow is also, our town has a main village to it. And down in the village every year they have a Christmas stroll where all the local town businesses set up little stalls and they serve like hot cocoa and they have adult drinks for free for the adults, and there's like popcorn vendors and treats for the kids, and there's a horse-drawn hayride, and there's somebody dresses up as the Grinch, and then Santa and Mrs. Claus arrive to the town dock by boat. It's all very Norman Rockwell. So that'll be fun. That's tomorrow. And it's always much nicer when it snows. It feels very, very celebratory when you're out there and it's cold and snowy and you're drinking hot chocolate and seeing neighbors on the street. Because, you know, people kind of hunker down once it starts to get cool. You don't see people as much in the wintertime and once fall hits, because everybody's just kind of got their heads down. It's not like summer where everybody's out and about. So that will be fun if it's snowy. And tonight we have a holiday party at a friend's house. So I'm gonna try and get this done, and then I have to shower and change because I have had a slow day so far. That's part of my enjoying my birthday. This nice slow coffee, and then I made for lunch. I made my favorite Korean spicy tofu stew. It was actually, I guess it's really kimchi stew. But it's vegan and it's tasty and it's warm and it's got a little bit of heat to it. So what you do for that is I saute a ton of onions and garlic and mushrooms in a soup pot, and it could be I just use a stainless steel. Sometimes I use a cast iron pot, but I just use a stainless steel pot today. Because I didn't intend to make that much. And then once you've got that all nice and sauteed, I use olive oil. Then you dump in some kimchi. I get vegan kimchi. And chop up some smoked tofu. And I dumped in some Korean rice cakes, which are called tteokbokki. And what else did I put in there? Some vegetable soup stock and some soft tofu. And then you just let it kind of simmer. Oh, I also put in so this is ground espresso. I also put in some soy sauce and some toasted sesame oil and a little bit of maple syrup. And then you just kind of and gochujang. Gochujang is the spicy red pepper paste. And you let it all simmer and let the flavors kind of meld together. And you let it kind of boil. Oh, I threw in some kimchi dumplings, frozen kimchi dumplings as well. So when it was done, it was a nice, hearty, warm stew. All right, so let us, I think this one is already well inked. Let us put some things on this. So I want there to be some interest on this side. So we're going to kind of collage onto this side. And it really doesn't matter what it is. If you're doing something, ooh, which side? I actually kind of like that side. If you're doing a theme, like I made one of these, I'll link the video. That was kind of a postal theme a couple years ago. And so I had kind of postally themed papers. But since these are bases, I want this to be fairly neutral. Without, any real identifying qualities. This is a piece of really interesting graph paper. I need a ruler for tearing. This is actually the plan for a sailboat. I used to have a reefing plan, but we sold that boat a long time ago. But it's such an interesting, it's almost like a tracing paper weight. And I love the red boxes on it. I'll do just a piece like that. And I have some rusted treasury tags and some rusted paper clips. And I have some masking tape and some brown paper tape that look really good if you age them up a bit. So it looks like it's an envelope that has been well used and taken care of and preserved. Ooh, that doesn't seem to want to stick. And then you can use the tape as a design element as well. Here's some book page. Oh, about auks and murres and puffins. I love puffins. Been totally going to use that. From a field guide. Put that right along the center. And then something else. This is interesting. This is a travel receipt to Kathmandu, but I really like the green and yellow stripes, even though it's typed. It's got a really interesting color to it. So that can go across there. But I don't want to cover up my puffins and murres entirely. Okay, so we'll do that. And I like that the edge is naturally distressed there. I hope you're all enjoying your weekends. I am just about done with my Christmas shopping. I'm waiting for things to come in. My daughter's birthday was earlier in the week. And so when I was going up to dig out her birthday present, because I gotta get her the birthday present and the Christmas present, I kind of sorted all the things that I had received that had come in until that point. Just to make sure, my kids are grown, and so I don't have to really worry too much about hurt feelings. Look how cool this is. This has been, someone just used a paper stapler to bind those together. And the date on that is 1911. And it's got a carbon copy, a real carbon copy. I'm going to use just the edge of this over here. Just because I think this is cool. So yeah, so I think I've got stockings done. I love doing stockings. I've got stockings done, and I've got everybody's ordered, but I'm still waiting for things to come in. And I had intended to make some mittens from upcycled sweaters, and I have the pattern. Just have to cut it out. I bought the pattern on Etsy. I need a wipe, and I haven't gotten around to doing it. I probably should have been doing that this morning while I was having my lazy extended morning coffee time, but I was so enjoying not having to do anything at all. It was so lovely that I didn't. I think we all need some of those down days from time to time, There, that looks kind of fun. Okay, so then this will wind up getting glued down the center. Let us think about what we want. How do we want the edges? I think I need to repair this edge. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ground espresso and ink up this masking tape. And maybe something a little yellowier, maybe some tea dye. I don't think that's tea dye, I think that's pink. Do I have a tea dye? Let's use this. We'll use this as tea dye. Well, that just blended it back into its original color. Okay, we'll call that good. I'm gonna roll the edge a little so it looks, looks aged and not perfect. Where's my vintage photo? I think I need some vintage photo, because vintage photo really does have just the right amount of yellow in it. Yeah, you can't beat a vintage photo. And then I could take a little bit of this brown tape as well. It gets such a nice torn edge. And I'll do the other half with that, and vintage photo that as well. And it really picks up, that torn edge really picks up the ink. Like that. And do I want to line, I'm gonna ink. Oh, I should have done that already, huh? I'm gonna ink in here. And along this side. Oh, I shouldn't have. That was silly of me. I shouldn't have joined it back together so soon. I was just anxious to use that tape. Because that's going to get folded like this. But I want to use the treasury tags. I want to use the treasury tags, but where do I want to use the treasury tags? Maybe right across the front here. Okay, so I need my crocodile. And I'm going to do the larger hole here, and I'm just eyeballing it. Like so. And I think I will ink behind that. I need more ink. And there we go. Missed a spot right where the hole was. There, so it looks a little worn. And then I have some hole reinforcers that I cut a long time ago. Let's give it a pop of color, I think. There is a red one there. And is there another? Oh, here is a red arrowy one. Let's do it a red arrowy one. Like that. Like that. Oops, let me get that. And then Here is my art glitter glue. I'm going to glue that down. Like that. Oh, I should have inked the edge on that. Stuck with the grunge theme. Like that. And then where's my treasury tags? Right here. And so that goes in and it toggles. See how that toggles? Isn't that cool? And put that one there. And then maybe I'll put some of this paper on the front. Oh, that fits just like that, doesn't it? Let's see how the art glitter glue does on this paper. I think you might be able to see the streaks underneath it. Yeah, we'll see how it dries. I'm going to tuck that up underneath the, there we go, like that. I'm just folding that little bit over. I think I'll probably put some tape on that to reinforce that little edge there. So let's use our inked tracing paper to do that, which I put down someplace, didn't I? Here it is. Scissors, scissors. What did I do with my scissors? And I'll tear that edge. And I'll tear this edge like it got torn off the roll. And I'll ink all the edges there. And then drag this across. I'm surprised that no one has made a washi tape roll that looks just like Scotch tape or sellotape or whatever you want to call it, but is aged. How is that not a thing? How it doesn't not come on like a roll with a dispenser? I don't get it. It seems like it would, I would love to have an aged tape dispenser. There we go. Okay, and then maybe this piece here. Like so. So again, I'm just creating a base. I'm not going to go into, whoops, great detail with embellishments, because the whole idea is that we are creating something that's going to be used at a later time in a later journal, that's going to have its own theme or idea or vibe. And so we'll just grab out these base pieces that have been prepared. Like you could use this as a floating pocket. You could sew this into a signature. You could use this with pages inside as a booklet journal that you stick into a pocket. Like there are any number of ways that you could use this in a journal, and to add your decorations to it as you have a journal that has a demand for it. Just going to glue those edges down. All right. I think that one. And you see how these have curled back? I'm not going to fix that. I'm not going to cut those off because that adds to the idea that this has been used and pulled in and out of things and reused over and over and over over time. I mean, we could put, got some rusty paper clips. I could put a rusty paper clip over here like that, but I won't. I'm going to put it back because, again, who knows where I want this to be in the future. All right, that's one done. Now I am going to do the other one just like that, and I will, oh, no, wait, I still have one more element that I have to do. I've got to do the mug stain, and for the mug stain, I have two things. I have this stencil that says Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous stencil, and it is THS009. And I was gonna just do a little bit of a stencil in, let's see what it looks like in tea dye. It's a little kind of on the mild side. So let's go with some ground espresso because, you know, espresso is coffee after all. There we go. Someone set down their espresso cup and got stains on the important file folder. I also have stamps for that, but I really like the stain because the stencil, I don't know, it looks more like it's seeped in a little bit more, a little less distinct. So there we have one altered envelope. I will do the next one off screen and I'll come back and show you. Hello, I'm back. So this is the first one we made together, right? Yeah. And I just added on this little Rolodex card. Pretty much the rest has stayed the same. It has the pockets at the top. It has the tuck spots there. And that is that. And here's the second one I made. I have the little map of Germany, Deutschland, it says on the front. And I added a rusted paper clip so that it can have this little Rolodex card there. And then on the inside, I have the tuck spots. I have the pockets. I added some paper at the top of this one and this kind of edge from a thick watercolor paper there. And it's also got a little torn book page there. I used pencil to circle some things, highlight some things on the papers, and on the treasury tags for this one, I added another Rolodex card. The treasury tags were a little fiddly, and I did have to tape down the backside in order to keep them taut enough to hold the things, but I think it's kind of cute. And then there are my coffee stains for the prompt. So that is another Defemember prompt finished. Thanks so much for joining me. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. Have a great day. Bye-bye.